been really tough. I suffer from nightmares and stuff like that. Like it really wears me thin, breaks me down. Like, he was a happy kid, really good brother. He used to look after me, and yeah, I miss him. I just thought he was stopping at his mates or just doing what lads do, like, do you know what I mean, all-nighters and telling the parents one thing and doing another, but that obviously weren't the case. I think I've come to terms with he's gone and he's dead now. It's just a case of putting him to rest, having somewhere to go with the family and trying to move forward.
Hello and welcome to a bonus episode of Cold Case Christmas 2023. I wanted to do this episode on this particular day because this day is 27 years to the day that two little boys disappeared. They went out to play and they were never seen again. The clip that you saw in the introduction of this video was one of those little boys' brothers who has tried so hard to find his body. This case has become known as the Carton Kids because of the adverts throughout the 1980s on milk cartons in the US that were used to publicise cases of missing children. And this tactic was deployed for the first time in the UK in 1997. With these two little boys' faces amongst the first to appear on milk cartons in this campaign launched by the National Missing Persons Helpline. So what happened on that fateful day 27 years ago to the day? Let's talk about their story. On the evening of the 26th of December 1996, we call that Boxing Day here in the UK, Patrick Warren and David Spencer went out to play. Patrick was 11 and David was 13 at the time of their disappearance. Even though they were 2 years apart in age, they were best friends. They lived in Chelmsley Wood, which is on the east side of Birmingham in the Midlands of England. Patrick left the house with his new bicycle that his dad got him for Christmas, while David was on foot. A police officer during the investigation said that he personally had seen the boys playing with another group of children in Meriden Park that afternoon, but they'd gone home since then. They told the parents that they were going to go and visit one of Patrick's brothers that evening, but actually they were, I think, probably going to pull an all-nighter outside because they were seen gone midnight by a petrol station attendant who gave them a packet of biscuits. Patrick's brand new red bike was found abandoned behind the petrol station near some bins, kind of by a phone box. And a few years ago, Channel 4 here in the UK did a documentary series called In the Footsteps of Killers, and they covered this case. And the petrol station attendant was interviewed as part of that documentary. And she said that although the petrol station, which is now at a KFC, had some form of CCTV, she doesn't know whether it was checked. But at night time, she spoke to people who were paying for petrol and other goods via a microphone. And she knows that there was definitely no sounds like screams or kids crying or anything like that picked up by this microphone. And she remembers seeing the boys walking away from that petrol station, and that is the very last time they were seen alive or dead. I'm afraid this is one of those many cases where, in the early days of the investigation, the police dropped the ball. In the days following the disappearance, police told the media and the world that there was no reason to suppose that the boys had come to any harm. I remember they were only 11 and 13 and they were out late at night pulling some kind of, all-nighter that they probably thought was fun. But they did come to harm. They didn't run away, as the police originally thought. Give it a while and they'll come back kind of thing. But as the years went by, it became very clear that something very, very bad had happened to them. And after years of fruitless searches, in 2003, West Midlands Police announced that they had arrested a 37-year-old man in relation to the disappearances of Patrick and David. But this man was later released on bail and has never been charged. The prime suspect in this case was someone called Brian Lunn Field, who is a convicted rapist and murderer. He was living in Solihull, just a few miles away from Chelmsley Wood, at the time of Patrick and David's disappearance, working as a self-employed gardener. In 2001, Field was arrested for the abduction, rape and murder of a 14-year-old boy called Roy Tuthill in Surrey, and that was way back in 1968. He eventually confessed to that crime after DNA evidence surfaced, which was years and years later. But he was done for that. And sadly for David and Patrick, unbeknownst to them, they were playing close to Field's home during the evening of their disappearance. Police interviewed Field in prison in 2006 about the disappearance of Patrick and David, but he denied any involvement in the case, and presumably he thought, well, I'm not going to admit to that as well because I'm going to end up spending even longer in prison than I've got already. There was insufficient evidence to charge him. In 2006, officers dug up land that he used as a dumping ground at the old Damson Lane in Solihull, but nothing was found. West Midlands Police later revealed that Field was driving around the area of the boys' last sighting in a van on the night of their disappearance, and that he was doing so whilst intoxicated, and he was known to commit crimes whilst he was under the influence. So putting two and two together, I think most probably Field is the guy that did something very bad to those two poor little boys, David and Patrick. Graham Hill was the detective that got Field to confess to Roy's murder in 2001. He spoke to Field a number of times about the disappearance of Patrick and David, but he's never admitted to it. In the 2021 documentary series Footsteps of Killers that I just mentioned before, Hill said that he believed Field was responsible for the boy's disappearance. Solihull resident Mike Ames used to drink in local pubs with Brian Field. Ames said that he saw Field digging and filling in holes at Wasteland behind Solihull Moors football ground following the boy's disappearance. This sparked a renewed community effort to search for the boys, led by David's brother Lee in 2021. And this was a massive search. They raised over £15,000 via a GoFundMe campaign. They were donated diggers and just a massive effort. You know, Lee, who we saw at the introduction of this video, just wants to know what happened to his brother so that he can lay him to rest in a dignified manner. This is 27 years now. The police had urged local residents and Lee not to take matters into their own hands, that, you know, they've done searches, but Lee's adamant that the area that they were digging up had not been dug before. Unfortunately, though, even that has come to nothing, as far as I know. West Midlands Police said that the case is still open, and a statement for West Midlands Police to Birmingham World earlier this year said, "It's a very sad case. It's been reviewed several times and a current review is still in progress. We continue to ask anyone with information regarding the boy's disappearance and who has not yet contacted us to please do so. We will always act on new information. Please contact us via live chat on our website or call us on 101. Our thoughts remain with all those affected by this tragedy. And of course, you can always ring the independent charity Crime Stoppers anonymously on 0800 555 111. So that ends Cold Case Christmas 2023. I've reviewed 25 very different cases. Sadly, all of them are still unsolved. All of the cases from this year and also from Cold Case Christmas 2022 are all in one big playlist, so you can have one big massive binge session watching all of the videos that you've missed if you would like to. For this series, that's it for 2023. I'll see you in 2024, where we're going to have a whole month's more cold cases to consider. Bye, guys.